So it's the 16th now. I guess if I remember, we were doing Carl's route and we had just gotten to Wednesday. Which, Wednesday, for pretty much every route, is the surprise party for Carl and bullshit like that. And just. It's weird that every single route has a day where Carl just suffers because, yeah. I hate that. Whatever, what you gonna do about it? The fuck is happening? What is this? As I said, it's been a while since I played Carl's route, so whatever. I open my eyes slowly. The pressure on my head tells me I didn't get nearly enough sleep. Not really a surprise, considering we're both up until 3. And our own ghost adventure a few hours later didn't help things. I heard the doorbell and realized that that's when it had woken me up. Groaning, I reach under my pillow and feel around for a few seconds before I find my phone. The lump that is Carl under the blankets near my feet doesn't even budge. That was the cool thing about having Carl as a roommate. He slept like a fucking rock. I did pretty much anything I wanted to. I didn't have to worry about him reporting me to the RA, even something like jerking off. That only happened a few times, though. The rabbit I'm roomed with now was a different story. Again, the doorbell. I glance at my phone. 10 a.m. I also notice I have 5 texts and 2 calls. Hey. Hey. I'm going to Carl's house for a surprise party. Make sure you're ready. Hello? Sounds like the reverse of a surprise party. I look down, then nudge some part of Carl with my foot. Judging by the thickness and consistency, I'm pretty sure it's his ass. He grunts. What? I think someone's at the door. He doesn't say anything, and a few seconds later, his guttural snores start up again. This time I really dig my foot and he yelps loudly, sitting up so fast his horns bang against the wall. He squints against the sunlight pouring in between the blinds, which turns his emerald eyes into an almost mint green. He raises up a paw to block the light and looks at me, frowning. What the hell was that? Doorbell goes off again. Door. Carl blinks at me, then slumps back down on his pillow, waving a paw lazily in the air. Let her ring. They'll go away eventually. Huh? Are you sure? He flops his paw around again. Solicitor, trust me. They see this house and make a beeline. No one else visits. I sigh, looking back down at my phone. Oh look, Leo texted me. It's probably him at the door. I guess my tone of surprise was a little too fake because Carl sits up and eyes me suspiciously. Well, you can go ahead and answer it. You're allowed to touch my door. I sigh a little harder this time. Damn it, Carl, fine. They're planning a surprise party for you, so go down there, answer the door, and act surprised. What? But Carl's not just confused, he looks genuinely upset. He leans into the corner and pulls up the blanket he's putting to ward off the boogeyman. My birthday's not until next month. I pause, watching him. I know, but we didn't have much to do, so Leo thought. I slide off the bed and start pulling on my jeans and his shirt. Come on, I'll go down with you. Carl covers his face and rubs hard, short fur in his muzzle bristling out in little spikes around his fingers. I just wanted to relax today, you know? Isn't that every day for you? I laugh, delighting the jab, but Carl just frowns. Well, not with you. I'm starting to wonder if all this isolation is worse than Carl's issues, if he really has gotten the help he needs. That all of this hiding out is just blanketed the problem of fester underneath. We can relax, we're all friends here, Carl, come on. I pick up his clothes left on the floor from yesterday and toss them at him. I'm at least relieved to see him putting them on, even if it's reluctant. My phone buzzes a few more times that I ignore it and patiently wait for Carl to finish getting dressed. I think this will be a lot of fun. He doesn't say anything as he slowly rolls off the bed and pulls on his shorts. Yeah, see what I mean, guys? I hate seeing Carl hurt in any way. Surprise! Happy not really a birthday, bitch. As I open the door, a blast of confetti hits my face along with a loud pop that leaves my ears ringing. TJ, not in the face. Sorry. I slowly pull the papery strings of confetti off around my ears as the smell of fireworks stings my nose. Where the fuck's Carl? I look behind me and step over to the side a bit, revealing Carl got his arms folded tightly, head dipped. Good thing I didn't answer the door, huh? Fuck you, Leo. Leo bustles in, carrying 2 bags. Jenna follows, carrying a medium-sized electrical cake covered in white frosting. Carl pricks a bit when he sees that, his long ears bouncing. Hey, is that red velvet? Yeah, Flynn says it's your favorite. Store-made, though. I would have made it myself if Leo would warn us in advance. Yeah, I just came with this like 2 days ago. Flynn engages Carl with some fake punches, while Leo sets the bag down on the table, returning to me with his voice low. Just so you know, your gift is a horn band. Okay, so is everything alright? Flynn, I mean. Leo glances over at the lizard, quirking the corner of his mouth up toward his ear. Yeah, I think so. It'll take a bit of time for him to settle down, but he already sort of apologized when you were gone. So that's a start at least, yeah. I exhale. Okay. Carl, we're here, plates. The cupboard, second door over. Now that Flynn's not shoving him around, Carl's standing awkwardly next to the table, paws fidgeting. So, why are we doing this? It's not until next month. Leo shrugs, frowning. Just wanted something to do, really. I mean, there's not much to do, you know. You have candles anywhere, Carl? No, I don't think so. What's up, man? Haven't had your morning joint yet? Lighten up. Flynn snatches up one of Carl's horn and wobbles his head around. Well, it's something Flynn did to Carl a lot, the taboo of grabbing one's horn almost makes me gasp out loud. Stop! Carl shoves Flynn off and smooths his beanie down. Well, I guess we'll have to skip the candles. I told you we should have bought some, Leo. Leo throws his arms out in a shrug. What? Sue me if I thought they'd have everything we need in this mansion. No kidding. You know the places you haven't been to when you were little, like small when you visited... I read that wrong. No kidding. You know places you haven't been to since you were little, like small when you visited adult? Peach's eyes scan the tall ceiling. This place still just looks giant. Sure, Teach. Carl huffs out of breath. Why didn't you guys tell me? I still need to take a shower. Quit being a pussy. You always smell like a skunk. Now eat some cake. I swear I suck at voices, especially between these 3, fucking hell. Flynn grabs up the knife while Jenna sets out the plate. The frosting is so thick it practically absorbs the knife. I haven't had cake for breakfast since, like, your last birthday party, Carl. Carl doesn't say anything, instead sitting at the end of the table, paws in his pockets. Yeah, I sure slept in. What were we doing all night? I wait to see if Carl's gonna say anything. When it's clear he isn't, I chime in. Video games mostly, and a movie. Fun. Something we could have all done together, though. Maybe for people who have a job to go to the next day. I don't think that was a personal dig at Carl, but I don't miss the downward flick of his ears. Flynn plops his thick slice of cake into Carl's plate, the inch-deep frosting making a splatting sound. Maybe we should just stick a doobie in there and light it, huh? Oh my god, shut the fuck up. I hate you. Oh my god. Carl had perked up at the sight of the cake, shrinks back down with a frown. Just a small slice, please. Flynn eyes TJ, who's holding out his plate and positions the knife. Smaller, please. Oh my god, loosen up. You're on vacation. Flynn starts cutting the slice even bigger than Carl's was. Hey, Flynn, she says it quietly, but the chill in her voice is clear. So is the fact that things aren't completely okay. Flynn grunts and cuts the cake again, this time with a slice that's just an inch wide. That good. Yeah, that's fine. Thanks. TJ moves away to sit down, and the warm glow of our little get-together chills. But Leo chips in with a laugh. Make sure Chance gets a real big chunk. He's getting way too skinny. I don't argue, and Flynn slaps down a large slice of my plate, a little notch in the center where he tried to cut TJ's. I sit in the vacant seat next to Carl where he's resting a cheek on his paw, methodically shoveling the cake into his maw. Everything okay? Oh yeah. Yeah, everything's good. About to ask more, but Flynn points across the table at us. Hey, Leah, want to tell him about what we saw on the way here? Oh, God, no. Oh, it's Janice. Yeah, it's that fucking person. I look at Leo inquisitively, and even Carl's ears perk up a little bit. What? Leo purses his lips like he's trying to decide whether or not to tell us. Now might not be the best time. Flynn rolls his eyes. Screw it, you know Janice. The waitress? Yeah, the methed out one at the diner. Come on, Flynn. Well, you were driving up Main Street toward the field, with the rusted barbed wire and stuff. TJ's hiding his face with pause, he steers down hard his cake. Uh-huh. Well, when we turned around the bend, we saw Janice. He keeps pausing for effect and it's getting annoying. Okay, what happened? Well, she was all crouched over, staring at the road, and Leo starts driving up to her. I thought she was having like a heart attack or something. Yeah, well, as we get closer, we saw that her pants were down. I recoil a little, not having expected that at all. What? Yeah, and when we pulled up next to her, she just grinned at us, and then... Flynn snorts out a laugh, covering his face like he still can't believe what happened. Can we please not talk about this? It just makes me feel awful. What? Well, It's unusual to see Flynn at a loss for words. Well, she just started pissing. What? Why? I don't know, she just smelled us and started pissing. Heard it first and looked down and saw it, then Leo hit the gas. Flynn sits back down with the story, not exactly looking pleased with himself. I furrow my brow in confusion. Janice? She was one of the more well-adjusted people living in this town. Leo lets out a cough in the end of the awkward silence. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly happened. Like, maybe we missed something. Either way, she seemed fine a few days ago. Well, now I have more reason to never go into that diner again. I sit there awkwardly. I notice Carl still staring down at his now empty plate. I still can't figure out why Carl is being so quiet, but I see an opportunity to talk. Chase, good grief. No wonder you don't understand why he's being so quiet. You aren't depressed like he is, and fuck's sake, I get it. I fucking get why he's being like this. I've had experiences like this, not exactly this, but like, big group of people. Fuck, it's so awful when you're anxiety and depression and just, it's so easier to just shut the fuck up and not say anything. It's so much easier. And change the subject. Hey, didn't we have some weird stuff happen, Carl? Carl looks up at me. Sorry. Huh? The sounds you were hearing. Oh. Yeah. What kind of sounds? Like bumping sounds and voices. That sounds creepy. Yeah, and Carl just charged down there like he wasn't even scared. It seems dangerous. Carl finally gives a little smile. Well, having a hard head can make you act crazy sometimes. So, did you find anything? No, we're not sure what it was. I'd watch out. Sounds like you got a pair of hose banging out in your basement. As we eat, Jenna leans over and starts pulling out presents from one of the bags. Sorry, Carl, we didn't even have time to wrap these up. It's fine. She pulled out a comic from TJ, a poster from Leo, and a manga from herself. I know you hate these things, but I think you should give it a chance. I'll take a look, thanks. And then this horn band from Chase. She pulls out an orange and black band from the bag. The car's at my school, Carl's former school. Oh. He seems to be struggling to find something to say. Thanks. I didn't know people still wore these. Leo suddenly shifts against the counter, realizing that he had to explain my present. Well, they're making a comeback. We saw a couple of rams and a stag that had like 5 of them on. Carl glances at me and I can tell he probably knows I didn't get it for him. Mainly because of the university logo and also because we made fun of them together a few years ago about how bro-y they were. I don't know if I should feel embarrassed or not, but my cheeks burn anyway. I promised myself to get him something thoughtful the next time we go into Peyton. Yeah, well, here's mine. Flynn reaches into his pocket and pulls out something small, hidden in his paw. He hands it to Carl, looks confused for a second before the expression turns to one of interest. Wow. It's a small metal rectangular box with 2 sharp points jutting out the top. I lean in for a closer look and realize those parts are horns. And there's a complex, elegant design of a ram's face etched out in front of the box. Carl presses his thumb against one of the horns and pushes. The top flicks up and over, and that's when I realize it's a lighter. Saw when I was over on the reservation. Made me think of you. He reaches out and traces his finger along the horns and clicks it back shut. Yeah, Jen is not happy. Thanks, Flynn. Yeah, now you look like a badass when you decide to get blazed. Yeah. Oh, sorry. We all jump and look over at TJ, who's looking at the floor, his plate gone from the table. Flynn starts to laugh, but catches himself. Don't worry about it. They probably got 100 of those plates. Carl, where's your broom? He doesn't say anything, and we look at where Carl had been sitting a few seconds before. But he's gone, and so is another portion of the cake. Huh, where'd he go? Hey, it's between the wall and the fridge. I think that's where I remember seeing it. That's weird. That's where my family keeps our broom. That's fucking creepy. TJ gets down on his knees and starts picking up the larger pieces. I look back at Carl's spot, then up the stairs. I'll be right back. Bathroom. I'm not sure why the deck is the first place I look, but it's where I find him. I watch through the paneled curtains for a moment. He's sitting on this little swing set, staring toward the glaringly bright desert. There's an empty plate with a fork on it next to him. He's also toying with the lighter Flynn gave him, flicking it open and closed a few times and holding it up to the light. Smoke wafts from his lap, where I assume he's holding a joint. Quietly, I slide open the glass door and step out into the living balcony. The deck is, of course, nice and big, stretching out around half the house. I see Carl's long ears twitch at the sound, and he lowers the lighter down into his lap but doesn't turn around. Hey. He does turn around then and smiles. Shit, I thought you were Leo or something. Would that have been a bad thing? I look around then and just decide to sit next to him on the swing. He just had pulled me back to the party. Fuck, I relate to Carl too much. I look over at him. He's looking down at his lighter, turning over in his paws, the hoof portions of his fingers making clacking sounds against the metal. Those things always fascinate me. It seemed like it should make holding things more difficult, but he managed just fine. You okay? Carl huffs out a chuckle and leans his head back against the cushioned back into the seat. That's a great question. Everyone's always asking me. Just seem really uptight is all. Wow, that's one fucking way to put it. Carl's demeanor's a lot more relaxed now, obviously. As is to emphasize that thought, he takes another hit out of his joint, holds his breath for a moment, then lets it out. The pungent smell envelops me. I just don't like being around so many people. You know that. Well, yeah, but you were fine around them these past few days. Carl rubbed his forehead hard with the paw, holding the joint using his palm. Yeah, well, things run about me then. Just what we'll put on the spot. He coughs. That shit just gets me nervous. Like, can't we just hang out and not make it about me? I don't say anything, annoyed again that I just can't grasp what he means. Chase, buddy. You need some empathy. Good grief. Am I making you nervous? Carl finally does look at me, then his massive horns swaying toward me. No, you never do, Chase. I do look away at that point, almost feeling self-conscious at the way he opened up to me. And then you're trying to get me to talk earlier. Just makes me feel guilty, though, the way people try and include me in things and I just disappoint them. But you just don't really force me into shit. Everyone feels like I need to do something. Why can't I just decide that for myself? I pushed against the ground, making the swing sway a little, trying to think of the right thing to say. I mean, it's good to do stuff, right? You can't just sit around doing nothing forever. I guess. It's just that I worry enough about it myself. I don't need other people doing it for me. I leaned back in the swing for a bit, looking out over the desert. Man, I'm hungry. I wish I brought more cake with me. Not enough incentive to go back in? Not yet. I'd go get you some. He smirks at me. You're one of those fat fetishes just feeding me garbage so my moves get bigger. You don't have moves. I felt them. Yeah, I can't keep your paws off me. You have a thing for my fat ass? I look him over, studying his figure. Hey. He covers his chest. Well, I do actually like bigger guys, and there's nothing wrong with extra weight, especially if it's carried well. He looks at me expectantly. Bet you do. Sweet, you seem like you'd be a pretty dope boyfriend. Just feed me cake all day and get off on the results. About to shoot back with something snarky when a stumbling figure catches my eye. Out on the sun-baked asphalt of the road in front of Carl's house, I see... Duke. Fucking Duke. Great. I see a thin figure, a weasel, I think, running up the road. He stops, panting, paws on his knees before he looks over his shoulder again. His whole body slumps then, like the air's gone out of him, like he's giving up on something. He turns around to look back up the road. It's far away, but even from here I can tell that he's talking. Carl looks over my silence, then down at the road where I'm looking. Is that Duke? Yeah, that's him. Must be on something. He usually is. Duke finally turns around and starts to cower, his paws up in surrender. His lips are still moving rapidly, reminding me of someone who's trying to say as much as they can before something cuts them off. What do you think? I trail off as Duke suddenly whips his head around to look up at us, then starts pointing up at our balcony. Uh-oh, let's hope the doors are locked. Carl's chuckling, obviously finding the whole thing hilarious. I'm a bit more on edge. Yeah, me too. Me too, I know this fucker. I know what he does. I don't really feel like he's high. Duke's movements are a lot more focused, more precise, like he's all there. For some reason, it feels like he's looking directly at me. Because he is. Because he is, dude. I furrow my brow, watching as the weasel turns around, sticking a foot out to take a step. The sound of the sliding glass door wrenching open nearly makes me jump out of my skin. What the hell are you guys doing? Jenna marches around the swing set to stand in front of us, paws in her hips. Whoa, what's up, Jenna? Carl leans back in the swing, elbows over the back, smiling. The fuck his eyes narrow as she sheathes the joint. Did you forget who this party was for? Carl shrugged and rubbed his forehead again. Leo, I'm guessing. No, we spent all day yesterday getting this ready for you. Leo especially. Now get back downstairs and have your party. Fuck you, Jenna. I like how I'm just so defensive of Kara right now. I mean, it is his route, but like, some of the shit that, they all have their flaws, all of them, but Jesus. Carl sits squarely for a moment and glances at me. No, I don't think I will. He's not smiling anymore, his face expressionless. Head turned back towards Jenna, but his eyes are wandering off toward the side, looking at the sky. Why not? Because I didn't fucking ask for it. Pretend to look at my phone. But a party? I'm so sorry, we were trying to be thoughtful, Carl. Maybe we should just forget you next time, huh? Jenna, it's okay, we're just hanging out. She ignores me. I see the skin inside Carl's ears and around his nose turning red. Since he was a kid, Carl didn't really deal with conflict, usually running away the first chance he got. No. This was for Leo. I just don't understand why we couldn't do something it didn't involve. Sorry, Carl, but that's life. Sometimes you have to come out of your room. Sometimes you have to be at the center of attention, and sometimes, God forbid, you have to talk to people. Well, what if I just want to stay up here and hide? Who gives a fuck? The look on Jenna's face is approaching contempt. Are you kidding me? This is difficult for you? Jenna. Again, she ignores me. I might as well be talking to a statue, or I'm the statue that she isn't paying attention to. I feel like something must have happened downstairs. This isn't like her. You never realize how good you have it, Carl. If you even have a taste of what I went through. Oh my god, shut the fuck up. No. I hate that shit. I hate the, oh, you have no idea what I went through bullshit. It's so fucking self-centered and egotistical, even though I know what Jenna went through, and that's fucking awful. But at the same time, you don't fucking judge people like that. Holy shit. Get off your high horse, you fucking bitch. I can practically feel the heat raining off of Carl's body. He looks down at his lap. Are you blaming me for that? His voice breaks. We all have our problems. Shut the I wanna fucking punch this bitch. Wow. Carl glares at her, trying to be angry, but I can tell it's not working. You don't know what kind of shit I have to deal with. Back the fuck off. Like being rich? No, it's like myself. Oh, how terrible. The one thing you have full control. Shut the fuck up. No, that's so fucking unfair. The quaver in Carl's voice doesn't exactly sound convincing, and the pot doesn't seem to be helping us as I can see his fingers shaking. Just like life. Carl's face bewildered. What the fuck did I do, Jenna? Did I say something wrong earlier? Out of habit, he lifts the joint to his muzzle with shaking fingers, but then flinches as Jenna steps forward. I guess he thought she was going to slap him or something, but instead she just reaches forward and plucks the joint from his grasp. Right before flicking it back into his... Get the fuck away, you... It hits his nose and Carl flinches again. Not a word, Jenna spins on her heel opens the door even harder than she just laughed the first time. I'm stunned. I haven't seen Jenna that angry since she was in middle school, and definitely never at Carl. Carl doesn't say anything, instead rubbing at his nose, leaning back in his seat. Imagine being such an uptight bitch. Wow. Like, I get it. I fucking get it. She has her own trauma to deal with. She went through her own shit. But she, of all people, especially Jenna, should know that you never fucking judge someone for their fucking issues. Oh my god. Little miss, I'm going into psychology. Oh, shut the fuck up. Carl doesn't... I read that. The insides of his ears are still flushed a deep red. What the fuck was that? Yeah, no shit, Carl. I don't know. Something must have happened. That wasn't Jenna. I'll ask Leo about it. Later. I didn't do anything, did I? I shrugged, no words coming to mind. We sit in silence a while, listening to the train horns. Looking down, I see the joint still smoking up from the planks of the floor. So I lean over and pick it up before holding it out to Carl. He takes and looks out for a second, raising his paw. He pauses, then takes a drag before flicking it off the side of the balcony. He lets his head sag, his big horns dipping toward the floor as he closes his eyes. Slowly I put my arm around his shoulders. He leans into me and doesn't pull away. I'm sorry, but I think this is one of the only routes where, like, there's an actually genuine happy ending. Oh, I forgot there's two endings to this. Fuck. I'm gonna have to narrate that scene now. I don't like that. So it's over with Carl, huh? Leo. Fuck it. It's over with Leo, huh? Carl waves his controller around like it's gonna help him avoid my three-spike throw, almost knocking him over his beer bottle. It hits him anyway, and he gives a little grunt of annoyance. I grin and consider letting up on him because he's clearly drunk. Seems that way. He hasn't really talked to me as much since I got here. I leave with the part that's probably my fault. Carl lets out a weird little sound as I punch his character as if he were the one getting punched instead. Well, that sucks. Does it suck? He's looking intently at the screen. Still, I get the feeling he's not paying full attention because it's easier and easier to nail his character with my combos. I don't really know yet. It's been 3 years. Maybe it just hasn't kicked in yet. Takes that long to kick in for you? When Tanya dumped me, I felt like I couldn't get out of bed for a week. Oh God. I remember that. Back in high school when we were both 16. Didn't she get you into pots? Carl lets out a snort again and flip kick his demon character in the chin. Yep, and thanks Satan for it. I don't know how else they would have gotten over her. Anyway, not to be a dick, but you're better for it. He surprised me with a spin kick that sends my Angel Wolf character flying across the screen. I focus back on the game with a thorough barrage of punches into the demon character's face, sending blood splashing onto the screen. Oh? Well, you know, it's just hard to talk to in Leo when you guys are being all lovey and shit. His words are mushy, starting to bleed into one another. His character throws a flaming spear at my angel, which I easily deflect with my shimmering shield. I extend my wings and swoop in to throw my lightning bolts. Well, you know, no one really tried to talk to us when we were together. It was like we were making you guys uncomfortable. I watch as the demon fly in the air, surrounded by a glowing white circle. Looking over, I see Carl frowning. No, I don't think so. This demon spreads so much spikier wings and hovers out from the circle. He reaches up into the sky and a red lightning bolt slams down to my character. You guys were just kind of self-absorbed. You didn't call me once after you guys started dating. You know, I was thinking Carl never liked conflict. That sentence carried a lot of weight and a lot of years behind it. I'm not about to argue with him, though, especially after what happened with Jenna. That lightning bolt was it for my Angel Wolf, and his demon flies up to the screen and flips us off as winner is displayed. Well, there was college. Carl stretches, leaning back in the giant beanbag chair we're sitting on. I don't remember much of college anymore. He lays back in the chair and looks over at me. By the way, I have a job interview on Friday. My eyes widen. Don't act so surprised, asshole. He hangs on that last word with a lisp. You're drunk, but that's awesome. Where at? A print shop, be a production assistant. That sounds decent. Yeah, parents told me they'd buy me a car to get there. It's in Payton, of course. Anyway, Flynn told me he'd give me a ride interview, but since you're here, gives me a lazy, sidelong glance. While I usually wouldn't have an issue with it, the thought of how hard I've been procrastinating my school project is starting to make my stomach churn. But hey, how often we get to hang out with Carl when the break is over? I'd love to take you. You know, we were going to go out and do stuff tomorrow. Why don't we change your look, get you new clothes or something for your interview? He keeps smiling. Sounds great. So what's it like kissing a dude? I let out a surprised laugh. What? You know, is it like more? He wiggles his paw uselessly in the air. I don't know. You kissed a girl, right? I'm Samantha, right? I think so, but that was like 7th grade. So was it different? I laugh at him again. Pretty sure it's just like kissing a girl, man. You sure? I feel like kissing different species would be even more different. Maybe. I've always sort of want to know what it's like. He says it slowly, deliberately, trying not to trip over his words. Yeah? I say it even slower because I think I know what Carl's getting at. I can see how guys can be sexy. Carl, are you coming out to me? He rolls over onto his stomach, facing me fully now. That's a good question. Maybe we can answer it. I'm a little buzzed, but not drunk. Are you asking if you can kiss me? He gazes at me lazily through lidded eyes, looking about ready to fall asleep. Only if you want. I've been asked to be the experiment of a few guys in the past. In college, I always said no, but Carl. If you want. Carl's eyes widen slightly, then he slowly gets to his hands and knees and crawls towards me. I was going to stand up, but it looks like he wants to do this on the beanbag. I lean back in the bag, sinking into it a bit more. Carl kneels at my feet, looking unsure. Is this right? Yeah, do you want me to sit? Before I know it, he's crawled up on top of me. His presence is heavy and warm, and I lean back, feel myself get hard, despite the awkwardness of it all. He looks down at me, into my eyes, and I feel myself blush. Sorry, is this okay? Yeah, it's fine. He leans down, Pratt pauses, and leans in all the way, and I feel his soft, wide muzzle against mine. At the same time, I feel one of his paws slide behind my head. It's different than kissing Leo or Samantha way back in middle school. Carl's muzzle is big and more blunt, his lips softer and more malleable. Covers the entire front of my muzzle. His beard tickles my neck and cheeks. I expect him to pull back quickly, but he doesn't, keep my paw behind my head and pressing deeper into the kiss. His other paw holds onto my upper arm. I open my eyes and see that his are closed. He hunches over me closer, and I feel myself start to respond, reaching up to wrap my arms around his broad back. He huffs in response, and I feel his lips part, and his tongue flicks against my lips. I start to open them, but that's when I feel the beanbag shift and Carl slides to the side. Someone manages to slip and fall in the wobbly beanbag, his mouth sliding sloppy off mine as he slumps down on top of me. Oh, that's so cute. I actually haven't seen the CG before. Oh my god, that's adorable. I let out a grunt as weight comes to rest on my chest. He chuckles and I can feel the spasms all the way through my own body. Oops. I laugh and wait a while, but he doesn't move. Carl, you can get off me now. He doesn't say anything. About to say something else when I hear a deep snore right next to my ear. Carl? His response is another guttural snore. I shift under him for the first time, realizing how actually fucking heavy he is. It's not exactly a bad feeling. His presence is enveloping and warm, and the beanbag under me isn't offering enough cushion so I'm not getting crushed. The snoring isn't bad either. It's almost comforting as his breath tickles the hairs inside my ear. His big belly squishes up against my torso like a warm sandbag. My eyes are heavy, and slowly I wrap my arms around his back. I haven't had someone to sleep with in years, and now I realize how much I miss the feeling. Slowly the dim lights in Carl's room fade out as I fall asleep to his comforting rhythmic snores. That was fucking adorable, oh my god. Oh. Oh my god, what? There's fucking sprites for the younger... Oh my god, I didn't think this was gonna happen. Stop. I heave for breath as I chase TJ down a dusty street, trying to pop the water balloon that I'm holding with him. Try not to pop the water balloon and hold him with my claws. He always chased me. TJ's whining again, but I don't care. He's always the funniest one to hit. His crazy speed made it all the more rewarding. Even though he's a grade lower, he could outrun me easily. I can still keep up with him though, since he's running around houses and mailboxes. My 4th grade brain is easily able to figure out ways to cut him off. It's not long before I have him backed up against the back of a Bentley's trailer home. He does a stupid dance where he's running back and forth, covering his head. Stop! I I stick my tongue out the side of my muzzle, following the back and forth balloon I have cocked behind my head. Hold still. No. He finally curls up into a ball against the house, crushing the dirt in his blue swim trunks. I stop. Well, it's not fun if you're gonna try to run. He looks up at his fingers. You'll at least throw it too hard. Well, if you... He suddenly darts to the right, but I'm ready, hurling the balloon right at his back. It doesn't explode, though, as it's smacking against his spotted back with a wet slap. Ow! He skids to a stop, then immediately bends and scoops up the balloon, grinning how the tables had turned. Uh-oh. I start jogging backwards as TJ heaves back with the balloon, but I don't have anything to worry about. In his excitement, he grips the balloon too hard, and I can see how the claws dimple the rubber before it explodes mid-throw. Water showers his head in dust, kicks up as dark spots speckle the ground, just like his fur, I think. He gasps the way cats do when they get any water on them, and I point and laugh. I can tell he's deciding whether or not to sulk and cry. I hold my breath because I don't want the game to end. I think I win him over because he smiles and starts to laugh too. It always happens to me. Well, don't hold it so hard. That's way too deep for fucking 4-3 Gs. I wasn't. Yeah, you were. I saw. I see TJ's ears perk and I look over, and he looks over towards the front of the house. What? That's when I hear it too. Doing with those water balloons. Oh. Don't touch me. I'm not touching you. Just give me the fucking balloons. Clint and Jerry. Oh no. Colorado must have followed us and they saw him out the window. My guts drop to my face and I feel like I'm gonna pee myself. TJ covers his mouth and I see tears starting to brim in his eyes. I think fast. Go run and get Leo. He can help. Again, I go back to my fucking voice. I need a fucking... Before I know it, TJ's tearing across the backyards of the houses up the block where Leo's filling water balloons. At least that's where I hope he's going. Slowly I pat around the house, peeking around the corner of the front yard. Oh my gosh, that's cute. Oh, that's a cute sprite. Carl's standing with his fists clenched, staring hard, trying to look defiant, but I can tell he's terrified. Multicolored water balloons are scattered around his hooves. He must have been carrying them all in his white tank top. He's not wearing... What? He always wore his shirt when he did water games. I'm like... How do I do a fucking Clint voice? Good grief. Wasn't that a cunt face? He's a fucking kid in this. I don't know. What's the matter, cunt face? You're not gonna hurt, yeah? Yeah, right. Jeremy laughs stupidly at Clint and bends down to pick a purple water balloon. Then starts circling around Carl, and the ram follows him with his muzzle, nostrils flaring. As he's looking the other way, Jeremy throws the water balloon right in Carl's face. Following the smack of the rubber on his muzzle, the balloon explodes, showering all three of them in water. Carl whimpers and covers his face. I grip the side of the house knowing I should do something. My legs aren't moving. Leave me alone. Carl's doing a good job not crying, but he's about to. Hey, we're just playing. Clint leans down to pick another water balloon. That's when Carl makes a break for it, died around the bend over Clint towards the street. Clint's too fast, though, and the ring-tailed cat instantly reaches out and catches Carl by one of his horns. He rides him for a second, jumping on Carl's back before using his long tail to trip the ram up. Why aren't you doing something, Chase? Carl lands in his stomach with a loud grunt as Clint sits on his back, holding onto his horns. Cunt, step on my tail. Clint grabs both of Carl's horns and leans back so far I think I can hear his spine cracking. Carl screams in pain and reaches for his horns. With his face pointed at the sky, I can see tears rolling down his face now. The one eye I can see is open wide. I think he sees me. But still, my legs won't move. How the fuck am I supposed to do this voice? Good grief. Hey! That's way too... I can't do this. Leo jogs up the street looking at Clint. The ringtail sneers but drops Carl back to the ground and stands up as Leo gets closer. The fuck do you want, Oh, I'm not gonna say that. Clint's weary, his casual demeanor more tense now that Leo's here. I sigh with relief. Carl sits up and quickly rubs his face before staying running back up the street, his hose clopping loudly all the way. Oh my gosh, he's cute. Wow, that's a really cute sprite. Leo doesn't even look at him, his eyes on Clint. I said, what do you want? You don't understand? Honestly, Leo might not have understood. He'd only been here less than a year. Still, Leo doesn't say anything, his jaw working, and I wonder if he's imagining chewing on Clint's neck. You're fucking crazy. Let's go, Jeremy. Clint is afraid of Leo, and he'd left us alone ever since the wolf had moved in, at least for the most part. Even though they're both 13, Leo is a head taller and almost twice as wide. Leave them alone. Clint stops. What? Leave them alone. Forever. Clint looks hesitant, obviously not wanting to stay, unable to leave now that Leo was thrown out a challenge not in front of Jeremy. Or what? Or, he thinks for a second, it's not good for you. Painful. I can't do a fucking Hispanic accent, I'm sorry. I haven't been paying attention to Jeremy, but I see a sudden move from behind Leo, followed by another smack and a splash. Leo arches his back, hissing at the pain from how hard Jeremy had thrown it. The wolf rolls around, one paw rubbing his back as he snarls at Jeremy, who points and laughs. Ha, wet back. He doesn't see Clint running at him from behind. Leo! I yelp out his name and he does turn around only to catch a sucker punch right in the stomach. You can hear it thud along with all the air going out of him all the way from here. Leo stumbles back and stops with his paws on his knees, gasping. I wince and curl my eyes only to pull them back down immediately and see Jeremy leaping on Leo from behind and biting his ear. Leo screams in pain but immediately twists and slams his knee into Jeremy's crotch. Jeremy lets go and lets out his own scream, which Leo puts an end to when he grabs the fox and swings him around by the shirt. Jeremy's forward momentum is brought to a halt as he slams head first into the oak tree. He goes down. Okay, a bit of context. Jeremy is Jenna's sister, I think, if I remember correctly. Clint's scared, his eyes wide as he looks from Leo to Jeremy to the front door. Leo doesn't give him a chance, though, running forward and hitting him with a tackle that slams them both to the ground. I think I hear Clint start to beg, but Leo's fists start raining down in his face. Jesus Christ. Now I can hear a crunchy, fleshy thuds as punch after punch hits Clint's face. And I can hear Leo, too. I don't know these words. The sounds Clint makes go from snarling to screaming to gurgling, and I cover my ears because it sounds so terrible. Again, I feel like I should stop this. Leo looks like he's in a trance with how focused he is on hurting Clint. But again, I'm too terrified. I run in the direction Carl went. I need to tell him I'm sorry that I should have helped him somehow, but that I was so scared. Even though this road doesn't lead to his house, I somehow get there. What the fuck? The sky is red and orange, even though it was noon just a few minutes ago. For some reason, Carl's house is bigger. Much bigger than it should be. Oh, I know what's happening here. Oh my god. The architecture is pointier, different. I walk around it slowly, looking for Carl. Looking down, I see hoof prints. They're too big to be Carl's, but I follow them anyway. It's fucking James. Oh my god. I fucking knew it. I mean, I was guessing, you know? Anyway, whatever. They lead around the back of the house, right up to a wooden set of cellar doors. I reach out to them even though I feel something terrible welling up from inside my stomach. I pull on them, but they're stuck as if welded shut somehow. A window well next to the doors draws my attention. I get down on my knees, then on my stomach as I look intently through the window. There are little clear spots in the glass, little paw prints breaking through a layer of old dust. The paw prints of oh, right, this shit. The room is almost pitch black, but the red light behind me illuminates some of the cement ground through the windows. Behind the paw prints, I see something long and spindly crawl across the ground. I don't know where I am at first. I open my eyes, but the dim Delucha Lobo lamp tells me. Laying there for a while, I realize that Carl is no longer on top of me. My face fur is a little wet and my nose is stuffy. I look around thinking that Carl probably went back to his bed, but he's not there either. He must be getting a drink or something. A dull, far-off thud makes me open my eyes again. I listen carefully, starting to worry that the sound came from downstairs. Again, I hear it and it makes me jump this time. Shit, is it happening again? I hear a voice coming from the same area, directly below me, but it's a lot more muffled, but I can still tell it's a voice, muttering and cursing. Carl? My voice sounds weak and warbly in the heavy silence of the dark house. The scuffling sounds below me stop for a second, though then start up again, more vigorous now. Slowly I sit up, listening to the whispering and thumping beneath me. My mind flashes to Duke, the weasel's foot forward, his eyes locked on me. Finally, the anxiety gets to me and I stand up, walking as quietly as I can from the room to the hallway. The kitchen is dark and I move over to the front door to check if it's locked. It is, so I move over to the stairs and look down into the inky blackness, almost afraid to turn on the lights. Nothing jumps out at me when I do, but the light is actually making me more afraid, knowing that it will light up anything that's down there. I move down the stairs as quietly as I can, every creak making my fur bristle. The scraping sound is louder now, and so is the voice. I'm almost positive it's Carl, but I can't be sure. I call his name again, but it's almost a whisper in my throat. I clasp my paws together against my chest, eyes flicking to each doorway as I slowly move down the hall, not wanting Carl to get the jump on me. When I finally get to the crawlspace door, I can pick up a rhythmic thumping, along with the scrapes and the muttering, is much clearer now. Buried inside, help? I shiver. Carl, this isn't funny. Again, my voice is weak and unconvincing. You probably didn't even hear me. Another thump almost shakes the house and I jump. What the hell is he doing? Is it even Carl? Did whoever's down here murder him is now in the process of burying his body? The fear is too much and I know I have to open the door now and put an end to this stupid prank. I'm going to call 911 and make everything worse. With each step I take towards the door, it feels like the air gets more electrified, the charge making my fur stand on end all over my body. As soon as I touch the tiny knob of the door and start to pull it open, though, the sound stops. I freeze, listening hard. I get the feeling that whatever is down there is doing the exact same thing. Then I hear a series of thuds as whatever it is runs at the door. I fall back and can't help myself from shrieking, laying on my ass and scooting back with my paws and feet. The door flies open. I'm face to face with a dusty Carl. Carl, what the fuck? I scream into my chest, heaving as I clutch it like I'm about to have a heart attack. He looks confused, looking around then back at me, breathing hard himself. I wait but doesn't say anything. There's white dust all over his horns and on his shoulders. Just what? I yell at him again and he jumps. I'd feel bad if I wasn't so freaked out. I sleepwalk sometimes, okay? I debate whether or not to accept that as an answer, but he looks confused enough that it just might be true. You scared the shit out of me. Carl moves out of the crawl space, leaning over to brush his head off. You scared the shit out of me. I don't know where I was. I slowly get to my feet, still breathing heavily. What is that stuff? What were you doing in there? Just dust. It's dirty down there. Again, I feel like he's leaving stuff out. I try to look past him into the crawl space, but he closes the door. Come on, I need to smoke after that. I stand back looking past, tempted to open the door again. He grabs my arm when he sees me looking, though. Seriously, dude, let's go. I don't really want to be alone in this house right now. Please. I look at him and I can tell he's definitely freaked out. I would be too if I woke up in that crawl space. Yeah, let's go. Slowly I follow him, looking back at the door before flicking off the light. Is it Thursday now? Thursday. Okay. Well... Good grief. Alright guys, that was this episode. I really wasn't expecting there to be a fucking sprites for the younger versions of them. That was interesting. sequence. I butchered that sequence to all hell. Jesus Christ. Oh Jesus, but like, I can't, I don't know Spanish. I can't do an Hispanic accent, so I'm sorry about that. Come back next time, I guess. Yeah, fuck off.